but let me ask you this question. So obviously we got, let me cross it. You got Lamar.
Check.
Right?
Check.
You got Patty.
Check.
You got that boy from Buffalo, Josh.
Check.
It's another superstar, Burrow.
Check. Cool Joe.
Now, what all these guys done did that my man didn't do?
Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Because I can tell you something that he got that they don't got.
3 of them, man. He got championship.
And the name of the game ain't for, how pretty is your ball when you throw it?
Talk about it.
How far can you throw?
Talk about it.
We don't care about that. You know what we care about?
Yep.
Are you winning?
Are you winning?
That's the first question. The second question, are you winning championships? He checks all them boxes.
Check.
So if we want to ask these questions about who's the top 5, let's go to the boxes. And all the boxes you need to be a top 5 quarterback, he's that. Listen, when you draft a quarterback or you trade for one, the first thing you ask your owner, your GM, and your head coach, hey, guys, can we win a Super Bowl with this quarterback?
Right, what's the answer?
Now, at all the top 10 quarterbacks, it's a lot of them guys that can't do it.
That's fact.
That ain't did it.
It's a lot of them guys that won't do it.
That ain't did it.
Now, if you ask about top 5, number 1 for Philadelphia Eagles, he can do it.
And
not that he can do it.
You know.
He did do it.
Talk about it, 2-5.
Top 5. He's top 5, baby.
No, you know
that
what?
with your chest, dog.
All I'm saying is I played the game at a high level.
The highest level.
And if you telling me, do you want a quarterback that throws it so pretty, he's this and third, so talented, or
Win.
you want a quarterback that can win you a Super Bowl?
Bang, what you want?
And in the biggest games, with the most pressure games,
No
you
doubt.
play the best on the whole field.
Whole field.
Let me get him.
True facts.
Let me get him.
True facts.
That's a good take.
That boy from Philly, let me get him. That number 1.
Hey, man.
Anytime an Eagles topic comes up, you ready?
I'm just keeping it real, though.
No, he's top 5. He's top 5. Now, the dilemma is this. And
Why is it
because
a dilemma?
it's inflammatory.
Yeah.
It's inflammatory. It's like saying Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes, they the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. Sure, they are. But there's a huge gap between one and Mahomes and whoever you want to make number 2. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they the 2 richest men in the world. They are. But it's a huge gap between Elon Musk's money and Bezos' money. So it can be inflammatory. Jalen Hurts is top 5. To me, he's top 5 because I look at the elite quarterbacks in football. Can they all do something different than everybody else? Patrick Mahomes, he can do it all. He's the best. He's just the best, period. I think Allen, best dual threat quarterback. Lamar, he's the best running quarterback. Joe Burrow, he has the most it factor. Jalen Hurts, he's the best winning quarterback. And Matthew Stafford, he's the best passing quarterback. To me, to be elite, you have to do something elite. These are my tops. These are my tops. These
What
are my
did you say
tops.
Mahomes was?
He's the best. He's the best at all of it. He's just the best. And then all of those are better than everybody else at that specific thing, Mahomes being just the greatest cumulatively if you add everything up together. So to me, to be a top quarterback, these are my top 6, you got to be there. If you want to say Hurts is top 5, I will not argue with you because he does something better than everybody else. He is the best winner of every quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes, and he most recently beat Patrick Mahomes. So that's my tops. I'm going to end it there, Q.
Best winner?
It means like he wins the most out of other quarters.
I'm smart.
Obviously, you asked the question.
I'm just like,
That's the question.
No,
I needed a little more time to think.
Ain't much thinking about, dog.
There's a lot to think about.
Those top 5 quarterbacks, those top 4 quarterbacks are elite.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Like elite quarterbacks.
What for? Jalen?
The 4. The 4 that Darius Slay said. The Pat, the Lamar, the Joshua,
And the J.
and the Joe.
Okay,
Those are elite quarterbacks. So before I give my take, you guys are telling me that Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback in our league, because that was y'all take.
That's what I said.
You said, see, this is it. No.
I'm just asking a question.
I mean, them guys are special, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you ask a question, you're going to take them 4 guys first. But the question was, is he top 5?
Yeah.
Correct?
But that's what I'm saying.
So I say he's the 5th quarterback.
The top five quarterbacks, in my humble opinion, are elite quarterbacks, right?
But it was 4.
I do not believe that Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. I believe Jalen Hurts is an elite winner. And it's a lot of quarterbacks in our league that have been on good teams, that have won football games, that have not played at elite levels. And that is okay. The dude is a champion. The dude is an elite winner. But when I talk about top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League, with what I've seen Jalen Hurts do on the football field, I cannot sit up here confidently and put him in those conversations with those dudes. I cannot put Jalen Hurts in a conversation with Matthew Stafford. I just cannot. I believe Matthew Stafford is a much better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl champion as well. Matthew Stafford.
No MVP.
Matthew Stafford and Jalen Hurts, I think it is a big gap between when you talk about quarterback play. Now, when you talk about winning, the dude that you say sorry, he won a lot at the San Francisco 49ers.
Who's that?
That's Jimmy G. And we wouldn't think that and we wouldn't put him in
when
the
he
top.
win?
We would. I mean, he went to NFC Championship.
No, I'm asking you. You said something, and I just want to ask you. I said
He did not win a Super Bowl.
Then we can't talk. I can't talk about him.
Three of them other dudes in front of Jalen Hurts didn't. And,
Yeah, but they're
why are we talking about them in front of him?
Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Bringing up Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. All right. I think moving forward when I do facility clips, I'm gonna have to like pause for a second, like pause the recording so I can like just like gather my brain cells back that I just lost. Because I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. Because this is like such such a mess. Like this is okay. First off, let me know when Jimmy Garoppolo played as special and elite as Jalen Hurts did in not one but 2 Super Bowls. Like, that's what people are failing to still grasp. We talk about Super Bowl, when we talk about winning and this and that, what it means to be elite. When is it most important to do it? We talk about it like, oh, you could be great in the regular season, but how are you in the playoffs? And, you're great in the wild card round, but how are you in the conference championship game? How are you in the Super Bowl? We now have 2 games where Jalen Hurts has played in the Super Bowl. We can't just say that, oh, he's a great winner. He's an elite winner, because it's more than that. It's more than that. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo won games with the 49ers without him having to be special. And then when they needed him to be special, in the Super Bowl, in conference championship games, he was not that. Whereas you had Jalen Hurts have 2 of the greatest performances in Super Bowl history as a quarterback, and he did it against the Kansas City Chiefs. And he did it against one of the best defenses. He did it against the dynasty of the Chiefs. Like, I don't understand how we're not acting like that's not an extraordinary thing to do. So it's just like, what is Jalen Hurts' superpower? He is an elite, big game player. That is who Jalen Hurts is. That is who Jalen Hurts is. So if you want to say there's lots of other quarterbacks who have won and blah, 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 Dak Prescott's won a lot of games. Could you say that he's an elite big game player? No, you can't. Can you say that about Jimmy Garoppolo? No. I'm a Brock Purdy fan. Can you say that Brock Purdy did that? Did Brock Purdy elevate his game in the Super Bowl? No, he did not. So we can go name all these other quarterbacks. Because again, other people are going to say, well, he's on a better team. Jalen Hurts has been on better teams. Because then they're saying, this is why I'm like spitting out. Because he's talked about, Jimmy Garoppolo. And LaShawn McCoy is kind of like, yeah, but, Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl. And he's like, yeah, but Lamar hasn't won a Super Bowl. And blah, blah hasn't won a Super Bowl. And yet we're still putting those guys ahead. And it's because we've seen some of those other quarterbacks do more with less. Yes, that is a fair statement to make. But we've also seen those quarterbacks not rise to the occasion. We've seen Lamar Jackson not rise to the occasion. I've defended Lamar Jackson in multiple videos over the years. He still could have played better, and he still could have led the Ravens to win. Against the Bills, against the Chiefs, whoever. He could have found a way to play better, but he did not. And again, I've defended him. I've blamed coaching, roster, etc. But he is still a part to blame. Whereas Jalen Hurts actively led in both Super Bowls, had to essentially be that entire offense. Now, it's not totally fair to say that Jalen Hurts has been like a one-man show. Even this most recent Super Bowl, we know how great the defense has been, etc., etc. But in terms of the true offense now, game-breaking moment, the plays that needed to happen, that were the highlight reels, they were all caused by Jalen Hurts. Like, that is the reality of the situation. And in all the times that Patrick Mahomes could have been that guy, he failed. Whereas Jalen Hurts succeeded. When Jalen Hurts was about to get sacked, he rips off a 20-yard run. When he's flushed out of the pocket, he throws a beautiful 15-yard ball for a first down. Like, those are the differences. Needing to be the leading rusher, setting the record for most rushing yards, breaking his own record from the previous Super Bowl that he was in. Scoring the most points in a Super Bowl loss. If the defense could just do anything in 22, he wins that and he wins the MVP. Then you're talking about a 2-time MVP Super Bowl winner. And you're going to say that guy's not special? That guy's not elite? I grant you, he does not play elite every game. I grant that. If you had to pick a random week 5 game and say, who do you think's going to have a better game? Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts? I'd say probably Lamar Jackson. I'd say if you're forcing me to make that decision and make a choice, I'm going to say Lamar. I'd honestly probably pick Lamar 99.9% of the time. Josh Allen, absolutely, etc., etc. If you're saying it's the Super Bowl and you can pick any quarterback right now, any quarterback. Let's go to Acho's elite club. And you said you had to pick which quarterback who you have the most confidence is going to be special, who's going to be elite. What quarterback can you actually pick over Jalen Hurts, actually? Seriously. I'm not even saying that Jalen Hurts is better than all those quarterbacks. But Matthew Stafford had an awesome play in the Super Bowl, the no look and all that. But he was far from flawless. Joe Burrow, far from flawless. Lamar Jackson, you can't have that confidence there. Josh Allen, I think he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. But I've never seen him in a Super Bowl. I have no idea. Will he try to do too much? Will he be reckless? Will he try to, do some sort of lateral? I honestly have no idea. I really don't. I honestly don't. And Patrick Mahomes, we've seen him play awful Super Bowls. Multiple Super Bowls that are awful. He's played half the Super Bowls as Tom Brady, but already has, more interceptions or whatever. Whatever it is, it's not good. Whatever it is not good. And we know his numbers for the Super Bowls are already cooked a little bit because he got a bunch of garbage touchdowns against the Eagles, against a bunch of backups. His touchdowns came after Sirianni was already having a Gatorade bath. So, yeah. If the Eagles and the Chiefs were to play a Super Bowl again, and you had to pick which quarterback do you think is going to play better? Which quarterback do you think would more likely to have a good game? How could you say anyone but Jalen Hurts? And who are you going to put above Jalen Hurts right now in that situation? You have the Super Bowl coming up, and it's going to be Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts. Who do you think is going to play better? Name the other quarterbacks. Justin Herbert. Brock Purdy. Who? What quarterbacks? Can't really say it. Can't really say it. That's why this whole top 5 and things like that just doesn't mean as much to me. I have no strong interest in trying to like exactly rank these quarterbacks. I've said that a lot, especially every time I have to do like the Hurts's Himalaya for first things first, like quarterback rankings and all of that. I'm always a fan of tiers, and elite is always a tricky word. It's a moving target. It depends. Like I said, on a random game, if you have to pick a random game and you said, hey, you're building a team right now and you're like, this team's kind of garbage. We need a quarterback. Who do you want? It's like, yeah, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Those quarterbacks can really kind of find a way to do anything. If you have an elite team and you are having a big game and it's gotta have it, I mean, like, you're guaranteeing that someone's going to be able to do better than Jalen Hurts. I don't see it. I really don't. We haven't even seen Patrick Mahomes do that. Jalen Hurts has now played 2 Super Bowls better than Patrick Mahomes in any of his Super Bowls. I don't even just mean one, when they played each other. Jalen Hurts has now had 2 Super Bowl performances that were better than anything Patrick Mahomes has ever done in a Super Bowl. It's just a fact. Doing more for his team. And you're not going to tell me that Jalen Hurts is just because he's on a better team. I was told the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the history of the universe. Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, he even had Tyreek Hill, all that fun stuff. So don't tell me it's about teams. Lamar Jackson, they had best offense. Derrick Henry, etc., etc. So I don't know. And again, if we're gonna pull back Jalen Hurts, well then again, pull back Matthew Stafford. He had OBJ, Cooper Kupp, Sean McVay. I mean, you guys realize Sean McVay is an absolute elite head coach, offensive coach. I mean, like, absolutely elite. If Andy Reid wasn't in town, I mean, it's a pretty safe bet that everybody would be saying that Sean McVay is the best coach in the NFL. The sheer reason why people don't even jump to that conclusion is also because the dude's still so young relative to these other coaches, especially relative to like an Andy Reid. So, and even the statement saying that Mahomes is just so much farther better than Josh Allen, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. That's such nonsense. I mean, that's you want to play the game of people on better teams and worse teams. Well, then again, pull back Patrick Mahomes then for having literally Andy Reid. Either having, amazing offensive weapons or having the best defense. I mean, like, we got to be consistent with these things. We got to be consistent. But to bring up Jimmy Garoppolo. We know Shanahan's a great coach. We know they had some great weapons and all that 49ers offense, right? We know all that. And they didn't even go up against a particularly great Kansas City Chiefs defense necessarily, relative to what, Jalen Hurts had to go against. This is Jimmy Garoppolo's box score. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 69 rating, 20 for 31. 2 carries for 2 yards. That's what we're comparing Jalen Hurts to? How does that even make sense? I mean, here's even Stafford. And I think Stafford's elite. I think Stafford's special. I've talked about that a lot. But Stafford, 26 for 40, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 89.9 rating. Had a whopping 3 carries for 6 yards. And again, he had Cooper Kupp and OBJ. I know OBJ went down, but still obviously important enough. Like, again, if we're going to just talk about how great they're, the hell, the Bengals, they have to play a 10-7 Bengals team. Joe Burrow's first big game ever. You know, that matters. Young coach, his first big game ever. They held him to 20 points, his defense. Especially after giving 2 interceptions. I mean, Jalen Hurts' first Super Bowl, he had to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. They already won Super Bowl. They already won a Super Bowl. They'd already been there before. Given up 30-plus points. I mean, Joe Burrow, 1 touchdown. 22 for 33, 263 yards. Again, it's not like that these are like awful box scores per se. But you don't look at these games and say Joe Burrow played elite. Matthew Stafford was elite. You don't say that. You don't watch Patrick Mahomes in his even 2019 Super Bowl and say, that was elite. You said he had that amazing, fourth quarter, whenever it all unfolded. At this point, I already forget. But definitely not start to finish. You're not saying that about any of these quarterbacks. But yet start to finish for both of Jalen Hurts' Super Bowls, he was elite. Doesn't mean that he was flawless. You can still make mistakes. You can throw an intercept, right? But still elite. Special. Because, yeah, Jalen Hurts had an interception. Yeah, Jalen Hurts fumbled. Not flawless. Not 100% pristine. But yet, still historic. Literally record-breaking. Literally, statistically, one of the greatest performances in Super Bowl history, and did it twice. And we're going to say that that's not elite because of how he plays in like a Week 8 game against the Carolina Panthers. And you want to use Jimmy freaking Garoppolo as a reference point. I got news for you. If Jimmy Garoppolo was as good as Jalen Hurts, the 49ers win that Super Bowl. If Brock Purdy was as great as Jalen Hurts, the 49ers win that Super Bowl. So that Mahomes, who you think is so special, so great, he got to beat Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo, 2 inferior quarterbacks. That seems pretty easy. Jalen Hurts had to go up against the quarterback who you say is by far the greatest quarterback. He's so amazing that they're light years away that Josh Allen's not even close to him. Well, then it seems pretty freaking impressive that quarterback, Jalen Hurts, just outdueled him not once but twice. Seems pretty impressive to me, doesn't it? I'd say so. Not to mention, if we really want to continue this thread, you also said, we've seen other quarterbacks not play so well and still win. Well, then isn't that what Patrick Mahomes has done then, too? Hasn't he not done so good in Super Bowls and still won? That's interesting. Wonder how that works. I don't know. I mean, heck. Here's his Super Bowl, 26 for 42, 6.8 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 78 rating. I don't know, man. I don't know. And he had 2 first-team all pros who are literally all-time greats, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, all-time great head coach Andy Reid. start to knock him. I don't know. And he got to beat Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts? Is he elite? Is he a top 5 quarterback? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.